Hey guys, welcome back to the Saints TV YouTube channel. Hope you're all having a great weekend so far. I'm actually surprised it's taken me this long to do a video on this particular player. He has been talked about a lot, particularly during the trade period. His form over the last couple of years hasn't really been at the point, where he's been a lock for playing in the side, and obviously he's had some serious rotten luck, which has obviously affected his form, affected the fact that he can't get onto the damn ground. There's just a lot of question marks around this player going into this season. I'm quite bullish about him and hoping that the new coaching changes can get the best out of him, and that's Hunter Clark. So firstly, this video isn't a video where I'm trying to put the negative spotlight on him. This is just a talking point for me. He's a player that tickles my curiosity, and I think he's a player that we all want to see the best from. We've all seen little glimpses over the years. We've seen how good he was in 2020. There was multiple games in that year that he basically won us under pressure because he could take the pressure and he could dodge players in traffic, make it look like it was in slow motion, like Scott Pendlebury in his prime, and get us over the line. And, there were even moments in 2019, I look back on a game against Melbourne late in the year where he took the ball and just broke through some tackles. He's not obviously the biggest guy physically or the strongest, but just the way that he moves, it just gets him through traffic with ease, and that's a serious talent. Again, I think it was in the 2022 season, it might have been, or 2021 when we played Hawthorn, and he kicked those two outstanding goals. He's shown us in glimpses, the ability that he has. And I think that, when I think about it, and the whole point of this video is, is 2023 make or break for Hunter Clark? Now, we may not obviously get that answer in this video. I'm just merely putting that conversation out there. So that's for you guys in the comments to let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Is 2023 Hunter Clark's most important year? He's fully fit, as we know. Obviously, 2021 and 2022 were heavily injury interrupted, devastating jaw fracture in 2021 against Adelaide, as we all know, well documented. And then 2022, I think it was in the preseason game against Essendon, copped, I think, a concussion. And then obviously later in the year in July against Carlton, bumped into Dan Butler. And again, that was basically the end of his season. So we've not seen Hunter Clark fully fit, ready to go consistently since 2020. And that was one of his best seasons for the footy club. Disposal-wise, 2019 he peaked. That was when he started the year really slowly. And then there were some stern words from the coaching staff to him through 2019. And then he came back and played some of the best football of any Sainer in the back end of that season. Obviously, that was when Alan Richardson was sacked and then Brett Ratton took the reins, and he continued that form into 2020. But we all know that glimpses isn't enough in AFL football, and we all know that we've got Ross Lyon at the helm now. So to me, this topic, I think, is really timely because maybe under Rats, the whole narrative would be a bit different. But with Ross, to me, the standards have changed. They're stricter, they're tighter. There's not a lot of room for excuses. And I'm not saying that injuries are an excuse, because I still feel like outside of those injuries in 19, most of 20 was great. I feel like there were still games there where he would, notably not play his best, maybe go missing, look a bit off the pace physically. And those kind of what these questions are about. For me, I think that at his best, he's obviously in the team. He's in my team. I find it hard to not select him based on potential. But when do we stop talking about potential? He's debuted in 2018, as we know. It's 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22. Obviously, a couple of seasons there, injury interrupted. But he's played, over 60 games in 5 or 6 seasons, with his best disposal turnover being 20.5 in 2019. From that point on in his career, he's averaged 18. Is that enough? We talk about potential and where that can take a player, but sometimes that's all a player is. And for me, Hunter Clark, I desperately do not want to be that player. I don't want Hunter Clark to be a player that we talk about in 10 years' time. Wow, what could he have been, What could a Hunter Clark have been? I want him to be a player that, under the tutelage of Lenny Hayes and Robert Harvey and Ross Lyon, absolutely lifts and becomes one of the most important players in the St Kilda lineup in the 2023 season. So that's kind of where I sit on it. Obviously, in the trade period, there was a lot of talk around him potentially being traded to North Melbourne. And I think that kind of got that trigger in my mind of, if he does stay, there's still a lot to prove. He's not a lock in this team, but we all know what he's capable of, and his skill set is very, very unique. And I think that's why maybe he's going to get more chances than certain other players, because there's not many players that can get the ball and operate on his left foot and his right foot like a Hunter Clark. There's not a lot of players that are able to play half back and be as silky under pressure as Hunter Clark. But he's still got to put the work in. And that's something that I think a lot of Sainers in the preseason are going to keep a close eye on, is his development as a serious footballer. He's even, you read online, and I feel sorry for him at times, because a lot of people do like to focus on his physical attributes or lack thereof. And they say that essentially, from 2018 to now, his body type has not changed. So does he take his football serious enough? And I think that's a bit harsh. I think that some players genuinely can't bulk up. I mean, some people might say that that's bullshit, but even for me, I feel like I could go to the gym for a month or two, or maybe a whole year, and maybe I might look a bit fitter, but I don't think I'll get big. I won't fill out. And that's just my body type. But that's, again, it's not an excuse. It's just, I feel like there might be more to it than that. And maybe we don't want Hunter Clark to bulk up. Maybe we want him to be silky. Maybe getting a bit bigger is not something that he wants to do. I don't know. I think it's worth focusing on his football, and when he gets onto the ground, what he can do. And obviously, at his best, he's a St Kilda player through and through. He is in the starting lineup in my eyes. But obviously, over his career, you look at where we selected him, obviously in the top 10, there's still a lot to prove for Hunter Clark. So is 2023 make or break for Hunter Clark? Let me know. For me, I didn't really feel like sharing I guess I didn't want to answer that question because I want to leave it to you guys. But for me, I think it's really important. I think it is close to make or break. I think this year we need to really find out where he plays his best football, whether it's halfback, in the middle, on the wing. That's, again, another thing that makes this such an interesting conversation, is we still don't really know exactly where his best position is. Like, where is it? Can you tell me? Is it midfield? Is it halfback? Because we've got Sinks going to halfback. Naz is training at halfback in the preseason. From what I've seen, where is Hunter Clark's best position long-term for St Kilda? And if he doesn't play there this year, is he just going to be that player where he just plays all over the place for the rest of his career? I mean, I don't know. It might be frustrating for him. It's definitely frustrating for me, because I want to see him locked into a position and be able to hone in on that and master that position. But at the end of the day, he's just got to get on the field. He's got to get fully fit. And so far in the preseason, he's looked all right. So I'll leave it there, Sainers. Just a bit of a quick video. I thought I'd do a video, I guess, putting a bit more of the attention on specific players. I've got a few other players that I'm keen to talk about. I want this to be really constructive. I want this to be obviously very open. But yeah, please in the comments do not pick on Hunter Clark. I think he's obviously a very important player. I think he's got a lot of potential. But my question is, when does potential, when does that end? When do we stop talking about potential and really want to focus on what a player delivers in his career? So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Is Hunter Clark's 2023 season his most important in his career? Is it make or break? And also, as I always mention, if you enjoyed these videos, please like them. Please comment your thoughts, as I've mentioned. And most importantly, subscribe. Let's get to 10,000 subscribers this year. We're growing every single day, so thank you to everyone that is supporting the channel. Obviously, when we hit 6,000, our next big milestone, I will be giving away some signed, framed portraits. Nick Royal and Nicky Dell waiting in the wings there. So the quicker we get to 6,000, the quicker I give away these prizes. So enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys. Thank you again for watching on the channel, and I'll see you next week for some more videos. Until then, take care and go you mighty Sainers. See you guys.